Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Moviemaker magazine. My name is Danny De Lillo and we're here at the Cambridge Los Angeles showroom in West Hollywood. I'm here with Gregg Masuak and Athene Parker with their movie Invisible. Let's take a look at a clip.
Marry me, beautiful. I want your babies.
Oh, yeah, right.
Cool, well, welcome guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your film Invisible.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful to have you here. Tell us a brief synopsis of your film.
The film is actually about a woman who, despite her rather large size, is completely ignored by everybody in her world. Nobody seems to recognize her, see her, or really care about her. And one day she realizes that sometimes not being visible can be turned to your own advantage. And what happens is she ends up seeing an altercation at a bar, a very dodgy couple who then tear out the door and leave a big bag there, which she discovers is full of money. So she kind of gets a bit of a taste for pinching, money surreptitiously behind the backs of people, and she uses that money to transform herself.
What's it kind of like, taking on a role that, because there's parts of it that's so endearing, you just really feel for her, and what she's kind of feeling and going through, and there's some really great funny moments as well. What is it like, what was it like taking on a role like that?
Well, when we first started working on it, Gregg wanted to do some sort of characterization rehearsals, and we actually went out in Camden, and I was wearing the fat suit and the prosthetics, which were kind of a work in progress at that point. And so we went out in Camden, and it was really interesting for me because Gregg was basically, I don't know, maybe sort of 100 yards behind, and he was filming and kind of taking things in, and we went into various shops and we went into a bar and stuff. And just people's reactions to me, it was quite horrible because there were people kind of, walking past me like, get out of the way, because I was big and I was walking slowly and I was kind of playing with the way that Sue would move. And I was quite sort of traumatized by the end of that day.
It was very telling because we went into a pub and just sat back, and it was a good way of actually testing the waters, and I could observe her as she kind of climbed into this persona, and it was kind of odd and telling and sad because she'd be sitting at the bar on her own, and at one stage this whole family came in through the front door, and there was empty chairs all around her, and they went straight to the bar and they clocked this fat, sad woman at the bar, and they literally did this, and they looked around and found a table, away from her. So it was almost like being this large, unattractive with the prosthetics woman was repellent to people, like you could catch something off of them.
Yeah, exactly, like it would rub off, it was like they didn't want to be near that arena.
Well, you kind of mentioned a few different things, but what was sort of some of your biggest challenges that you had making the film?
Having no money.
Yeah, money. Right?
I took over the producing of it. Luckily, Athene knew a bunch of people that helped us enormously in post-production, music composition, sound, and all the rest of it. But having to actually go to strangers, and I was stunned at how generous people were. We went into the college, which we used extensively, and finding locations, without any money. And this was the kind of location you would probably spend easily 20 grand on just using the reception. And they gave it to us. They gave us the whole college on Saturday to use for nothing. Things that were difficult were like in the bar scene, and we don't have any actors for that scene. Everybody's like, I can't do it, or it's not worth it, or whatever.
We were phoning people like, can you come down now?
So we had some friend who actually worked in an agency, advertising agency, come over and be
my friend
the thug.
Jen,
Our costume designer was the junkie girl. Likewise, our makeup artist. Next door to that, we borrowed the bar from somebody that I knew. And next door to that was, I'll give them a plug, Age UK, which is a charity outfit, so the charity clothing store. And they lent us their place for 3 hours. So again, we were like, finish the bar scene. Oh my God, we don't have anybody to play these roles. So in goes the makeup girl, and she's like doing it all. So
well, the makeup was fantastic.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Well, that was Daniel.
Yeah.
And wonderful Daniel Nastasi, who we found simply through a makeup school's recommendation. He was actually still training. And he was just incredible. And he appears 3 or 4 times in the film.
He's the doctor. He's the guy on the bike at the
He's
end.
a cyclist. He's the guy in the elevator. He's like
But he was amazing because to make the prosthetics, well, first of all, we had to do a cast of my face. And I was like, I can't have my entire face covered. We're going to have to do it in 2 halves. And even that was really difficult because at one point I was covered from sort of here up to there, and then from the top of my nose down to here. And this sort of blue gloop rubber stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that people actually will do a full face for like Madame Tussauds or whatever.
And you think
because that's
actress'
brave.
life is easy, you see. I mean, you have to go through all sorts of things, right?
Yes.
And I bet it's hot in that suit as well, isn't it?
It was really hot,
Yeah.
and also it was a really, really warm week. It was like a freak warm week in London.
Warm week in London, which doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Now, obviously, yes, the labour of love, and it's great. Obviously, you guys have known each other for a few years. And what is it like after all the hard work to have your film officially selected for New Filmmakers Los Angeles?
That was exciting.
It was thrilling.
It was so great, and it was actually the second time only that we've ever seen the film on a big screen with the wonderful sound system and all that. So I really loved the fact that it was chosen, and it was a really great experience the whole night anyway.
But we loved it. I mean, I think it's so great that you had such a great storyline, but really I think made a film that made us think twice, made us, because everybody makes that kind of quick initial first impression of everybody, which is it's human nature. But I think it's great that you addressed it for the power of the moving image, to kind of make us think and actually put it in a great way as well,
Yeah.
So Athene, 17 years out of acting, are you going to be returning again, anything?
Yes, well, I've got a couple of scenes in a TV series with Brenda Blethyn coming out next year, which is called Vera, which I think does
Vera,
quite well over here.
Yes.
So yeah, it's really exciting.
Very exciting. So you're back on the return with that.
I'm back on the return, and I was so thrilled to get Gregg's email, which was literally only a couple of weeks ago, saying, "Oh, the film's been selected for New Filmmakers LA.
Wonderful.
Do you want to come over for it?" And I was like, wow, okay, yeah, great. So this has come completely out of nowhere, so very exciting. My first trip to
Los
LA.
Angeles, your first trip.
Yeah.
You'll never forget your first trip to LA.
No, certainly not now either.
Yeah. No, it's wonderful. And Gregg, you've travelled and lived in Australia, and you're Canada born, and now you live in Los Angeles. So
Yes.
That's amazing. So what's going to be next for you?
I've got a couple of projects. One's a TV. I'm a writer-director generally, and oddly enough, Invisible was one of the few things I haven't written. But I have a film called Flycatcher, and we are actively, pulling it together right now. We have the wonderful Fionnuala Flanagan as one of the characters, Sally Kellerman from MASH years ago, doing a cameo, and we're sort of piecing together all the different cast, and hopefully we'll be filming that in April.
Oh, fantastic.
And it's a very quirky, funny, I like doing funny and dark together. And then I have a television series called Canoga Faults, which is kind of like, The Waltons Gone Horribly Wrong meets Twin Peaks.
Oh, wow.
Kind of comedy, drama, unraveling mystery, and so we're kind of in the process with that too, so yeah.
And
Well,
I'm trying to get parts in both of those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's Alba. I mean,
Feeding the mimosas,
she's
pour it in.
Have another sip.
She's pretty much contracted her. She got me drunk the other night and made me sign something that everything I do for the rest of my life has got to have a role for her. So
Yeah, it's a good contract.
I was all right. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on your film.
Thank
It
you.
was a fantastic success, and we look
Thank
forward to
you.
seeing more of your work, both of you.
You will. Thank you.
Thank you very
Cheers.
much.